Have you ever wondered why the wealthy smile when asked about their success? They shrug and say, "I was lucky." They wave away the question with a joke or a vague story about timing. But that is a lie. Luck is their smokescreen. Behind their fortune is a formula. Simple, repeatable, dangerous in its power. And here is the part you will not like. They will never tell you. They will never stand in the square and announce the chain of steps that made them rich, because the crowd resents method. The crowd worships chance, curses fate, and envies results, but it does not want discipline. So the rich hide behind silence and let you keep guessing. That is why I call it the banned success formula. It is not banned by law, it is banned by your own laziness. Think carefully. If you strip away excuses, why are you not yet wealthy? Not because opportunity never came, it did. Not because fate cursed you. Fate curses no man. The real reason is that you have not practiced the chain. You have drifted instead of declaring. You have wished instead of desiring. You have hesitated instead of commanding. You have waited to be paid instead of giving more than you are owed. You know this, and it stings, but it is the truth. The wealthy will never confess this openly, but their lives reveal it. Carnegie kept records of alliances and aims. Ford wrote decrees in the face of impossible. Edison treated each failure as a report filed to his persistence. Rockefeller logged every barrel, every margin, every system, until oil obeyed his order. Outwardly, they said, "I was fortunate." Inwardly, they practiced a chain of laws with religious discipline. Now I will put the brutal question to you. What decree have you written today that compels wealth? What vow have you made and kept? What service have you given beyond your wage? What decision have you made that left no retreat? If you cannot answer, then you now know why the gate has remained locked. Not because the rich are keeping you out, but because your own indecision has kept you outside. The secret is not glamorous, and that is why men ignore it. They want a hidden investment, a whispered stock tip, a magic shortcut. They do not want to hear the forbidden chain: desire, command, service, alliance, transmutation, plan, persistence, covenant. One link after another forged in daily fire. Break one, the chain fails. Forge all, the gate swings open. That is all. That is everything. The truth is both dangerous and liberating. Dangerous because you cannot pretend anymore. Liberating because nothing stands between you and fortune but your own drift. When you see this, you can no longer blame fate, luck, or other men. You either take up the chain or you keep envying those who did. Say aloud with me now, "I will not drift. I will write my chief aim. I will heed it with faith. I will bind myself by decision. I will render more service than I am paid. I will enlist allied minds. I will transmute my fire. I will plan, persist, and keep covenant within." If you can say those words with definiteness, you are already inside the gate. If you cannot, then the formula remains banned to you, not by the wealthy, but by your own weakness. The rich will never shout this truth. They will continue to shrug and smile while you mutter about luck. But luck is nothing more than discipline in disguise. The question is whether you will keep believing their lie, or whether you will take up the banned formula yourself. Men imagine riches are withheld by fate, as though heaven rolls dice to choose favorites. This is false. Riches are withheld by method. What the multitude call forbidden is only unspoken. The wealthy do not declare their method in the square. They shrug. I was fortunate, but their fortune is the dividend of a formula. That formula I call the banned success formula. The chain of this formula is clear: desire, command, service beyond pay, alliance, transmutation, plan, persistence, inner covenant. Each link strengthens the next. Break one, and the chain fails. Master all, and the gate of fortune swings open. It begins and ends in the mind. No parliament nor fortune teller decides your wealth. It is written by inward order. The crowd worships luck, but luck is the mask worn by discipline. What they call chance is the reward of those who have learned to command themselves so thoroughly that events bow to their definiteness. They will never admit it openly, for the crowd resents method. The formula is proved in quiet labor, not in noisy chatter. Watch the veil. A prosperous man shrugs. I was lucky. But his desk reveals decrees written in longhand, ledgers of service rendered beyond wage, minutes of councils with allies, records of drills and habits, proofs of small victories over self. His tongue says fortune, his hand says method. The secret is method under vow. So let me put the brutal test to you. What have you written today that compels wealth? What have you spoken with definiteness? What vow have you kept with yourself? What service beyond your pay have you rendered? What decision have you made that left no retreat? If you have no definite answer, the gate remains shut, not by fate, but by your own indecision. Let us summon witnesses. Andrew Carnegie confessed plainly. His secret was the harmony of stronger minds about a definite chief aim. He called it his mastermind. He was rich not by solo genius, but by orchestrating many greater men in harmony. Henry Ford heard the word impossible. He refused. Produce it anyway, he commanded until iron obeyed. Thomas Edison made defeat file reports. Each failure became his servant. Do not mistake this chain for complexity. It is simple, but never easy. Ease belongs to drifting. Discipline belongs to mastery. The rich will not tell you how to kindle the inner fire, for no man can lend you his flame. That is why the formula is called banned, not because it is outlawed, but because it is inward. Each man must stoke his own furnace. Say aloud with me now this opening vow: I will not drift. I will write my chief aim. I will heed it with faith. I will bind myself by decision. I will render more service than I am paid. I will enlist allied minds. I will transmute emotion into power. I will plan, persist, and keep covenant within. This vow is the key in your hand. The gate they keep shut is not guarded by others. It is barred by your own doubt. When you take up the chain and forge each link, you discover the lock was always on your side. The wealthy man's silence does not damn you. Your own hesitation does. But when you obey this formula, the silence no longer matters. The gate opens without a sound. And since every chain begins with its first link, we must lay hold of the spark that sets the others in motion. That spark is burning desire, the fire before coin, the heat without which the formula is dead. Let us turn now to the furnace. The first axiom of the banned formula is this: riches answer the temperature of desire. A lukewarm wish breeds delay. A white-hot desire shortens time. Fortune does not serve the cold. It waits upon the man whose desire burns so fiercely that his every word and step are clothed with inevitability. Wealth is timid toward the vague, but it hastens toward the definite and aflame. Definiteness is the tinder. Desire is the spark. It is not enough to say, I want more money someday. Such mist writes no orders. You must declare, I will acquire $50,000 by December 31st through organizing and directing a sales company. That is desire made definite. A soldier cannot march toward someday. He must be given a date, a field, and a victory. Consider Edwin C. Barnes. He did not crave wages. He craved partnership with Edison. He arrived shabby with no credentials, but his decree was clothed in royal garments. He would not be shaken by mockery nor cooled by delay. He carried his partnership in thought until, in time, his body was standing in the very office where his imagination had long dwelt. Desire dressed him before fortune did. Contrast him with R.U. Darby, who dug for gold in Colorado. When the vein seemed to vanish, his desire cooled, and he quit. He sold his machinery to a junkman who consulted knowledge, drilled 3 feet deeper, and struck millions. Desire that cools at resistance is not desire, but daydream. The true lesson is this: keep the fire under the drill until the vein obeys. If your desire burns faintly, you will fall back at the first whisper of defeat. If it burns white hot, you will treat defeat as temporary instruction. The fire itself keeps you moving, keeps you learning, keeps you drilling. Cold men are frozen by obstacles. Hot men melt them down. The strength of your desire decides whether resistance stops you or strengthens you. So how does one fuel desire? By deliberate practice. Each morning and night, rehearse your vision with senses awake. Picture the amount, the date, the service. Smell the ink of the contracts. Hear the voices of those you serve. Feel the weight of the coin in your palm. Give thanks in advance. Gratitude before proof is firewood on the furnace. Name the beneficiaries of your fortune. Whom will you serve? Whose lives will be improved? Desire burns brighter when it blesses others. Armour gave Gonzales his million not out of pity, but because Gonzales's desire aimed to uplift youth. Selfish aims flicker and die. A noble aim draws infinite intelligence itself to fan your fire. Guard against the theft of desire. Many men attempt to borrow another's aim. Envy makes them copy forms without fire. But a borrowed desire cannot endure. Do not mimic your neighbor's decree. Choose the one your heart can burn for. Only the desire born of your own conviction will keep the furnace alive through storms. Say with me now in cadence, I see the sum, I know the date, I name the service, I bless the buyers, I thank the source. My desire burns, it moves my limbs, it commands the day, it attracts its kind. I do not wish, I desire. I do not wait, I decide. My furnace is lit, my fortune hastens. Speak it until your body feels the heat. Notice how desire transforms your presence. A man of lukewarm wishes enters a room unnoticed. A man of burning desire enters, and others feel it before he speaks. His eyes are steady, his tone decisive, his step sure. He seems already to possess what he seeks. Buyers, allies, investors feel the heat and respond. Cold thought attracts none. Desire makes the air itself magnetic. Look again at history's masters. Carnegie was consumed by steel. Rockefeller was aflame with oil. Edison glowed with light. Ford burned with the dream of wheels in every home. Each faced ridicule. Each was told impossible. But their desire, white hot, did not flicker. That furnace sustained them through failure, mockery, and years of resistance. Without it, they would have perished as drifters. So test yourself. Does your desire make you restless? Does it disturb your sleep? Does it quicken your speech and shorten your patience for trifles? If not, it is not yet fire. Stoke it until it is. Read daily of men who achieved. Write daily your decree. Render daily one act toward it. Protect your fire from those who laugh, from idle company, from news that chills. Fire and ice do not share a hearth. Repeat once more. My desire is fire. It heats my decree. It drives my decision. It sustains my persistence. It attracts its kind. I do not drift. I burn. I do not cool. I kindle. My desire is worthy of riches, therefore riches are worthy of me. When this becomes your identity, wealth has no choice but to answer. And since fire must be given voice, the next link of the chain is command. Desire becomes a law only when spoken as law. The furnace must be translated into words that the subconscious can obey and the world can witness. Let us turn now to the law of command. The second axiom of the band formula is this: the mind obeys definite speech. Thought unspoken is like an army idle in camp. It may be strong, but until the trumpet sounds, it does not march. Words are the trumpet. When spoken with faith and feeling, they enroll the subconscious as your chief clerk, and through it they call infinite intelligence to arrange the field. Autosuggestion is not chanting in vain. It is command. A man who mumbles half-hearted words wastes his breath. A man who speaks his decree morning and night with authority engraves it upon the subconscious as law. That inner court does not argue, it does not delay. It sets unseen forces to work, arranging meetings, birthing ideas, and summoning allies. Write your decree as an order of the day. State the amount, the date, the service you will give, and 5 chief steps you will take. Read it aloud upon rising and again before sleep. Speak not as a beggar petitioning fortune, but as a commander issuing orders. Your tone must declare certainty. A wavering voice instructs nothing. Edison practiced this law. He told his mind what to deliver. I will produce light, he commanded, and then set his laboratory to labor. Thousands of failures followed, but each was merely a report filed by his inner court saying, "This method is unsound, try another." His persistence proved his faith in his own command until at last light obeyed. 3 instruments enforce this law. First, voice. Speak aloud, so your ears hear your own certainty. Second, vision. Picture what you speak, so your eyes see it. Third, vow. Feel the words, so your heart beats them. Without emotion, the words are straw. With emotion, they become torch. The subconscious is moved not by logic, but by heat. Do not boast of your decree to the crowd. That is vanity, not command. Do not gossip it to doubters. Their mockery is poison to your fire. Do not promise what you have not performed. The law requires silence within, proof without. Command yourself inwardly. Demonstrate outwardly. The flower does not announce itself as seed. It blooms quietly. Then the world beholds. Perform this short rite of command daily. Close the door. Stand tall. Breathe deeply. Speak your decree once slowly, once firmly, once with thanksgiving. Then write one proof you obeyed it that day. A man who commands but does not act is a liar to himself. One proof daily welds the decree into the bone. Say with me now, my word is law to me. I obey my decree. The inner court accepts, arranges, and supplies. Infinite intelligence moves through me. I do not waver. Therefore, events do not wander. I speak with faith. I act with decision. I persist with courage, and my decree becomes fact. Speak it until your very pulse believes it. Barnes commanded himself in this way. Each day he affirmed he was Edison's associate. He saw it, spoke it, felt it. Though 5 years passed in humble service, his inner court never doubted. Then one day Edison offered him the chance to sell a new device, and Barnes seized it. His command had stood. The world bent to it. The weak speak to the world, hoping to persuade it. The strong speak to themselves, commanding their inner court, then move the world by action. Words directed inward first, outward afterward. That is the order. The multitude reverses it, begging others while neglecting themselves. That is why they drift. The master commands himself, then compels fortune. Repeat again. My voice is trumpet. My decree is law. My subconscious is loyal clerk. Infinite intelligence is supreme ally. I do not gossip my plan. I do not waver. I do not delay. I speak, I feel, I act, and I persist. My decree stands, and the world obeys it. Now test yourself. What decree have you spoken today? Was it said with certainty or with doubt? Did you feel it or merely recite it? Did you prove it with one act, or did you betray it with hesitation? Be honest. The gate will not open for liars. Only those who command themselves with truth will be obeyed by the world. And since every command must be backed by the hands, the next link in the chain is service beyond pay. Words spoken must be proven by deeds rendered. Desire and command kindle the fire. Extra service throws on the coal. Let us now turn to the gold, the poor refuse, the law of the extra mile. The third axiom of the band formula is this: wealth hastens to the man who renders more and better service than he is paid to render. This law is so simple the multitude despises it. Yet it is the toll road the poor will not take. They demand pay before effort. The rich discovered that effort before pay multiplies reward. For every extra deed plants seed. Arithmetic proves it. Every unbilled excellence is a deposit in fortune's bank. The shadow of service is reward, and though reward may delay, it cannot be denied. Sow richly, reap richly, sow stingily, reap want. The world has no power to cheat this law, yet the poor refuse it, for it demands faith. Faith that unseen reward will surely follow visible service. F.W. Woolworth began as a clerk, sweeping floors and arranging counters. Yet he swept with diligence, studied customers, learned their wants. His broom purchased a boulevard of stores. His employer paid him a wage, but the law of service paid him a fortune. The gold lay not in the dust he cleared, but in the observation he gained and the extra care he gave. Edwin Barnes in Edison's shops performed humble duties with pride. He was not paid as a partner, yet he worked with the spirit of one. He polished his tasks until they shone. When Edison needed a man to sell a new dictating machine, he turned to Barnes. Extra service was his proof of fitness, his silent advertisement, his true resume. Extra service is proof of faith. It is the declaration, I believe my fortune so certainly that I can afford to sow now. The doubter withholds service until he is bribed with pay. The believer gives first, knowing he cannot escape the law's return. Employers, investors, buyers all sense this proof. Service beyond pay is the language of destiny. Say with me, I am paid twice. Today's purse and tomorrow's treasure, I serve both. I give without counting. I do more than is asked, better than is required. Reward follows me as shadow follows stride. I cannot escape it, for I go the extra mile this hour. Speak it until it compels you to act. Field drill. Choose 3 recipients today. An employer, a client, a partner. For each, deliver 1 improvement unasked. It may be an idea, a refinement, a gesture. Do it without announcement. Record the effect. Repeat for 7 days. You will see doors open, allies stir, opportunities arise. The world tests men by their willingness to exceed duty. Few pass. Henry Ford practiced this law not only with his men, but with his buyers. He gave them cars at prices far below competitors, improved the quality continually, and paid his workers more than rival shops dared. Critics called him reckless. The law called him rich. He gave more, and more returned. Service was his engine, and fortune its shadow. The rich seldom confess this secret. To the multitude, it sounds like a riddle. Give first, then receive. They prefer the tale of luck. So the rich stay silent, watching who already lives the law. They open doors only to those whose footsteps prove it. They need not be convinced by words. They are persuaded by deeds. The extra mile clears the road of competition. Most men quit at the first milestone. Few travel farther. The one who persists discovers the path grows quiet, the field opens wide. There is little rivalry on the extra mile. Fear keeps most men on the common road. Faith drives the few who walk further. Say again, I am servant beyond wage, worker beyond measure, giver beyond request. I plant in abundance, therefore I harvest in abundance. I cannot be denied, for I cannot be stopped. The law repays me with interest. My extra mile becomes my golden highway. Examine your own labor. Do you count minutes, measuring pay against effort? Do you hold back your strength until coin is offered? Then you walk the common road, and you will have the common man's reward. Break that habit. Give more today than you are paid for. Record it. Persist. Soon the shadow will lengthen into fortune. Barnes, Woolworth, Ford, Carnegie, Rockefeller, all men of wealth began with service beyond pay. Each planted more than was asked, better than was required. The poor around them mocked, yet the harvest came, and it was vast. This is why the rich refuse to waste breath teaching it. It is too simple for the cynical, too costly for the lazy. Let this be your turning point. Decide today that you will serve beyond pay. Prove your faith through your hands. Render service no man can ignore. Keep account of it, not to boast, but to measure your sowing. Do this faithfully, and wealth cannot withhold itself. Service is the seed, fortune the harvest. Sow richly, and you will feast richly. The fourth axiom of the band formula is this: two or more minds, harmonized for a definite end, generate a third and greater mind. This greater mind is invisible, yet more powerful than any individual. I call it the master mind. The rich eat at its table. The poor refuse its invitation, preferring quarrel, pride, and isolation. Harmony is the price of admission. Without it, a group is noise. With it, a group is power. When men meet in jealousy, nothing multiplies. When men meet in harmony, ideas multiply. Courage deepens, faith increases, and obstacles shrink. A mastermind is not talk, it is fusion. It is not gathering, it is ignition. It is the secret engine of great fortunes. Andrew Carnegie confessed this truth openly. His fortune was not the work of one man, but of many. Schwab for zeal, Gary for order, countless others for skill. Alone, Carnegie could never have built an empire of steel. Together, united by one chief aim, they created a magnet that drew iron from earth and gold from the markets. The mastermind supplied the unseen current. Charles Schwab rose on this principle. His genius was not machinery nor mathematics, but energy. He kept rooms electric, men united, and visions alive. Carnegie said Schwab's enthusiasm alone added millions. This was the mastermind in flesh. A young man's fire amplifying an older man's vision, both minds joined until a third presence seemed to govern them. The creation of United States Steel is a monument to this law. Carnegie's vision, Schwab's fire, Morgan's capital, Gary's discipline, each man strong, but together stronger. When they united, iron itself obeyed. Labor, markets, investors, all bent to the combined current. The mastermind is not a metaphor, it is a law. It turns stone into nation's sinew. Do not mistake the mastermind for ordinary alliance. Meetings full of vanity, envy, and fear are poison. A crooked mind will bend the whole beam. One discordant voice can unravel harmony. Choose allies first for character, then for knowledge. It is better to meet with 2 honest men than with 10 clever schemers. Harmony is the foundation. Discord is the leak. So how do you convene such a syndicate? Begin with definiteness. State the aim clearly. Meet weekly. Place one obstacle on the table at a time and strike it until solved. Criticism must be clean, not cruel. Decisions must be written as law. Each member departs with a task and returns with proofs. This rhythm, repeated faithfully, forges power. Say with me, we meet in harmony for a definite purpose. Our minds unite. A greater mind presides. We give more than we take. We think in service. We move swiftly. We return with results. Discord flees from our presence. Harmony is our music. Success is our song. Let this affirmation open your counsels until it becomes habit. Do not despise small beginnings. 2 men meeting weekly in sincerity can draw upon infinite intelligence. Begin where you are. Keep harmony. Keep definiteness. Keep records. A seed of 2 can grow into a tree of many. The poor refuse this law because it requires humility. Pride keeps them isolated. But humility joins wings, and 2 wings lift higher than 1. Even Edison, though a genius, relied upon a mastermind. His laboratory was full of assistants, each contributing ideas and skill. Edison's vision fused with their craft until inventions multiplied. His name is remembered, but behind it stood a council of united minds. He lent them his wings, they lent him theirs, and together they flew further. Repeat this vow: I do not walk alone. I choose allies of faith, character, and skill. We meet in harmony, we act in definiteness, we persist in unity. Out of our meeting arises a mind greater than ours. That mind strengthens our courage, multiplies our ideas, hastens our fortune. We are not drifters. We are creators. Speak it until it guides your actions. If you doubt this law, test it. Gather 2 men for 7 weeks. Choose one definite aim. Meet faithfully, in harmony. Record ideas, decisions, tasks. At the end, compare what you accomplished together with what each would have done alone. You will be astonished at the difference. The mastermind proves itself through results, not theory. Carnegie, Schwab, Morgan, Gary, Edison all bore witness to this invisible partner. Each confessed it quietly, but none shouted it to the crowd, for the crowd mocks what it does not understand. The mastermind is banned not by law, but by the indolence of men unwilling to govern their pride. Those who will pay the price discover its banquet. So gather your syndicate, unite in harmony, fix your aim, record your decisions, return with proofs, persist until the third mind appears among you. When it does, you will feel the current. Ideas will flash, courage will rise, doors will open. You will know you have entered the silent syndicate, and the world will not withstand you. The 5th axiom of the band formula is this: the strongest of human emotions, when lifted from mere indulgence and directed toward achievement, becomes the greatest generator of creative energy. This secret is seldom spoken of openly, for it treads on sacred ground. Yet every man of wealth has practiced it, whether he names it or not. It is the hidden engine of fortune. Emotion is fire. Left ungoverned, it burns houses. Directed wisely, it forges steel. The rich discovered that the same force that drives a man into weakness can be transmuted into imagination, labor, leadership, and magnetism. They did not kill their emotions. They harnessed them. They raised them from the body into the brain, and from the brain into deeds. Signs of transmutation are clear. The man so trained does not tire quickly. He glows with enthusiasm. His vision is keen. His words carry magnetism that gathers men. His labor feels like joy. Nights of striving feel like mornings. Obstacles that exhaust others feed his strength. He is not cold, he is aflame, but his flame is directed into building, not wasting. Thomas Edison endured thousands of failures without despair because his emotion was transmuted into faith in his goal. Each failure that breaks ordinary men only fed his determination. He laughed at obstacles, calling them reports from defeat. His vigils at the laboratory were not grim duty, but burning pleasure. His emotion was raised, transmuted, and thus made into an inexhaustible engine. Henry Ford, too, embodied this law. Critics called him fool, laughed at his dream of an automobile for the masses, and sneered at his impossible V8 engine. But Ford transmuted the sting of ridicule into stubborn light. He did not yield until the impossible bent. His emotion was not spent in quarrel, but in construction. He converted scorn into steel. Practical men will ask, how do I transmute? The answer is discipline of direction. Rise early and devote the first hour to thought, prayer, or planning. Turn emotion upward. In the day, channel intensity into service beyond pay. Turn fire into proof. In the evening, feed imagination with noble books, quiet counsel, or creation. Turn passion into vision. Weekly, join your mastermind. Turn private flame into collective fire. Avoid the leaks, idleness, coarse company, cheap amusement, waste. Each leak is a hole in the engine, draining your fuel. Keep company with those who lift, not those who drag. Keep discipline over your tongue, your thoughts, your habits. Emotion cannot be destroyed, but it can be squandered. Guard it as capital, for it is the most precious of all. Say with me, I harness my force, I raise it, I direct it, I feed my work, my counsel, my plan. Emotion serves ambition, desire serves destiny. I do not waste, I do not spill, I glow, I build. My hidden fire is my hidden engine. It moves me when others faint. It fuels me when others sleep. I am lifted. I am strong. The timid may scoff at this principle, for they are ashamed to speak of emotion, yet their shame is proof of their weakness. The masters are not ashamed. They know that the great works of men, art, invention, enterprise, empires, are born of transmuted passion. Without it, labor is drudgery. With it, labor is joy. Without it, desire flickers. With it, desire consumes and conquers. History whispers this law in every life of greatness. Napoleon Bonaparte, though his end was folly, rose on transmuted passion. His energy carried armies across continents. Lincoln transmuted sorrow into iron will. Rockefeller transmuted ambition into relentless organization. Every man of mastery has found his way to raise and direct the fire within. You too must practice it. Begin by observing your moments of strongest feeling. Ask, how may I lift this? Can I pour it into my plan, my service, my study, my alliance? Can I convert it into persistence, into speech, into vision? Do not suppress, redirect. Each time you succeed, you strengthen the channel. Soon, emotion flows upward naturally, feeding your aim. Repeat once more, I am not wasteful of fire. I transmute it, I direct it, I raise it, I glow with vision, with service, with persistence. My hidden force is my ally. It gives me magnetism, endurance, joy, and wealth. My fire builds, it does not burn me. My engine drives me forward without end. Thus the hidden engine becomes the difference between the weary drifter and the glowing master. The drifter spends his force in idle outlets and wonders why he is empty. The master invests his force into creation and wonders why others cannot keep pace. The difference is not fate, it is transmutation. Learn this law, and you will never again be ordinary. The sixth axiom of the band formula is this: vision without a plan is a cloud, and a plan without persistence is a leaf in the wind. Wealth comes not to those who dream without discipline, nor to those who plan without endurance, but to those who forge a blueprint and hold it steadily to the blowtorch of persistence until the metal bends. Organized planning is the tool by which desire takes form. Write your aim, your steps, your allies, your deadlines, and your proofs. 5 columns suffice: aim, steps, who, when, proofs. Replace vague wishes with measured action. Review weekly. Ask not, what do I hope, but what proof did I perform? The world bows not to guesses, but to written orders carried out. Edison's lamp was born of this principle. He did not stumble blindly. He logged every defect 10,000 times. Each failure was filed, studied, corrected. Defeat became clerk to his persistence. Where others saw chaos, Edison saw data. He held his plan in fire until it yielded light. 10,000 reports bowed before one decree: produce illumination. Rockefeller, too, obeyed this axiom. He brought oil to heal not by chance, but by order. He kept ledgers that captured every barrel, every cost, every margin. His systems multiplied his personal will into an army of efficiency. The plan was his fortress, persistence his guard. That combination turned black crude into golden empire. R.U. Darby once abandoned a gold mine 3 feet short, but he learned. In selling insurance, he vowed never to quit at no. Each refusal became a step toward yes. His persistence earned him millions. He transmuted regret into relentlessness. His plan became to outlast every objection, and he did. The blowtorch forged his fortune. Persistence is habit. Build it with drills. Each morning, perform one decisive act before breakfast. Each week, take one bold approach you fear. Each month, choose one test of endurance and complete it. Train your will as you train your muscles. Persistence is not born in crises. It is built in dailies. Then, when crisis comes, you are ready. Say with me: I plan, I act, I improve, I remain. Steps completed, dates kept, proofs recorded. Defeat instructs, not ends. I outlast obstacles. I do not drift, I persist. My plan is blueprint. My will is blowtorch. My fortune is certain. I hammer, I endure, I hold the fire until the iron bends. Speak it until the rhythm beats in your veins. The drifter abandons plans at the first difficulty. He writes one list, meets one obstacle, and calls it fate. The master revises, improves, persists. No plan survives unchanged, but the definite man adapts without surrendering. He sees each obstacle as data, not doom. His plan grows stronger under fire. Persistence tempers it like steel. History crowns the persistent planner. Lincoln, facing a war that split a nation, revised his generals, adjusted his strategies, but never abandoned his aim. His blueprint was union. His blowtorch was persistence. Defeat at battles did not sway him. He adjusted the plan, but kept the flame. At last, the Union stood. Examine your life. Where is your plan? Where is your blowtorch? Have you written the steps? Have you kept the dates? Have you recorded proofs? Or have you drifted from one vague attempt to another? Be honest. The gate does not open for excuses. It opens for those who write, revise, persist, and prove. Say again, I do not quit. I do not drift. I plan with order. I persist with fire. Each step proves me. Each defeat instructs me. I am master of my aim because I outlast all obstacles. My blueprint is firm, my blowtorch steady. Wealth cannot hide from me, for I refuse to cease until I possess it. Thus vision becomes reality. The blueprint gives direction. The blowtorch gives heat. Together they forge fortune. Without them, desire is wasted, command is idle, service is scattered, alliance is weak, emotion is lost. With them, every link in the chain is strengthened. Organized planning and persistence are the iron backbone of the band formula. And now, having hammered the outer law, we descend to the vault of the inner covenant, for all outer force is drawn from within. The seventh axiom, the seal of the formula, is this: the subconscious mind is your inner court, your secret covenant. It obeys every decree you impress upon it. It connects you to infinite intelligence, the universal mind from which all riches, all ideas, and all strength flow. Guard this inner court, for it is the vault where all your outer fortune is first coined. Understand the nature of this ally. The subconscious never debates, never questions. It accepts. If you feed it doubt, hesitation, and fear, it engraves them as law and delivers defeat. If you feed it faith, definiteness, and gratitude, it engraves those as law and delivers fortune. It is impartial, loyal to whatever seed you plant. It grows weeds as faithfully as wheat. Therefore, guard what enters. Cynical talk, gossip, idle jest, tales of ruin. These are thieves in the marketplace of your mind. Allow them to enter, and they will sow seeds that choke your harvest. Peace is capital. Protect it fiercely. 1 hour of mockery can uproot a week of planting. Keep your subconscious as clean as a treasury, for it is the gold behind all gold. Each night make your covenant. Record 3 proofs of progress from the day, however small. Speak your decree aloud with authority and thanksgiving. Picture tomorrow's chief act already accomplished. Ask infinite intelligence for one clear light, then sleep. While you rest, your inner court labors. It dispatches messengers, arranges meetings, and delivers answers in the quiet of dawn. Many call these dawn thoughts accidents, sudden inspiration. They are not accidents. They are the response of infinite intelligence to the decree you impressed. Edison himself received many of his greatest ideas in flashes during rest. The subconscious delivered what he ordered, and he obeyed. This is no miracle. It is law, operating quietly as night. I proved this law in my own household. My son was born without ears. Doctors declared he would never hear or speak. Yet I refused that decree. For years I fed his mind with belief, with encouragement, with definiteness that he would hear. His subconscious accepted what the outer world denied. In time, science supplied an instrument, and he heard. The decree had long been sealed within. Say with me now, my inner court is loyal. It obeys my decree. It multiplies my faith. It rejects my doubt. It draws plans, people, and power. I sleep while it labors. I rise while it guides. Infinite intelligence is my partner in profit, my counselor in decision, my supplier in service. I am never alone. My covenant is kept. Notice how infinite intelligence speaks through the sixth sense. A sudden urge to call a man, a phrase in a book that glows, a sentence in conversation that burns in your mind. These are not chance. They are replies to your request. Record them. Obey them. They are the law answering. Many men ignore their answers because they expect thunder, but infinite intelligence whispers. Keep a weekly ritual of renewal. Seek solitude. Reread your decree. Count blessings received. Mend one fault. Forgive one debt. Choose one bold act for the coming week. Send one note of thanks to an ally. This practice polishes the covenant, keeps it alive, and strengthens the bond between your conscious will and your subconscious power. Say again, in solemn vow, my inner court is sealed. I admit only faith, definiteness, and gratitude. I deny entrance to fear, envy, and doubt. It is my faithful servant, my tireless clerk, my loyal guard. Infinite intelligence hears through it, supplies through it, and guides through it. I keep my covenant, therefore wealth keeps mine. Know this, all outer force is drawn from this inner chamber. Desire, command, service, alliance, transmutation, plan, persistence, all are weakened if the subconscious is left untrained. But if you honor your covenant daily, every link in the chain is strengthened. The gate that seemed locked swings open silently, for the lock was always within. So I give you the final charge. Practice the chain in full. Desire, command, service beyond pay, alliance, transmutation, plan, persistence, covenant. Use all, not some. When you practice them together, the banned formula is no longer banned. The secret the rich never speak is now yours to act upon. And when you act, the wealth they guard will walk toward you.